Hello, it's me again, Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome, my lovely Fonto students in a biology session. And in today's session, we are going to solve the Necta question for the year 2020. Welcome. Our question is question number 4 for the 2020. Now, the question states that complete each of the following statements by writing the correct answer in the space provided. Complete each of the following statements by writing the correct answers in the space provided. The question, Roman 1, the sticky fluid in the nose that helps to trap dust is known as dash. The sticky fluid in the nose that helps to trap the dust is dash. Second, the muscles that are found between the ribs are called dash. Roman 3, the process of taking in air into the mouth into the lung is called dash. The Roman 4, the breaking down of the food in the absence of oxygen to release energy is known as dash. And the Roman 5, the structures that closes the opening of the trachea to prevent the food from entering it during the swallowing is known as dash. My lovely Fonto students, welcome back to the session now. The question number 4 has been derived from the variety of the topics we have learned from Form 1 and Form 2. It included the mixtures of the different questions. By starting with the Roman A, which is the sticky fluid in the nose that helps to trap the dust is known as dash. This question has been derived from that topic of the gaseous exchange and the respiration. In the structure of the nose or the nasal cavity, there is a mucus. The mucus, this contains the fluid that tend to soften the moisture in the air entering the lungs, also to trap the dust and debris that needs to pass through the lungs or the gaseous through the trachea. So the mucus, which is found within the nose, is a sticky fluid which helps to trap the dust. So the answer here is the mucus. And the Roman 2, the muscle that is found between the ribs are called the dash. This also has been derived from that concept of the gaseous exchange and respiration. When you study in that mechanism of inhalation, exhalation, the gaseous exchange or breathing in human being, inhalation, exhalation, there is a muscle that is found within the ribs. It tends either to move upward and downward or outward and inward during the breathing in and inhalation, and that muscle is known as the intercostal muscle. So the answer here is the intercostal muscle. The Roman 3 question, the process of taking in air into the lungs is called the dash. This also question has been derived from the topic of the gaseous exchange and respiration, where the process of taking the air into the lungs is known as the inhalation. In the Roman 4, the breaking down of the food in the absence of oxygen to release the oxygen is known as dash. In the respiration, this is a step-by-step process of breaking down the complex food substance to release energy in form of ATP. It can be categorized to two types, either the aerobic or anaerobic. Aerobic, this is the process of breaking down the glucose or complex food substance to release energy in the presence of oxygen. And the anaerobic respiration, this is the process of breaking down this glucose in absence of oxygen to release the energy, and this is known as the anaerobic respiration. So the answer here is anaerobic respiration. And the question Roman 4, the structures that closes the opening of the trachea to prevent the food from entering it during the swallowing is known as dash. This question has been derived from that concept of the digestion. In nutrition, that topic of the digestion in human being, in the structure of the pharynx is where there are these epiglottis. Epiglottis, these are the structure that prevent the food from entering into the windpipe or into the trachea. So hii hapa ni epiglottis ambayo inasaidia mtu akimeza chakula kisiwezi sana kurudi katika koo la hewa. Kwa the answer here is the epiglottis. So the answer for the question Roman A, ile fluid material, sticky material katika nose ni mucus. Muscle found in the ribs, these are the intercostal muscle. Roman 3, the process of taking air into the lungs is inhalation. Roman 4, the process of breaking down food in absence of oxygen is anaerobic respiration. The last one is epiglottis. This is with the structure which prevent the food from entering the trachea during the swallowing. The question number 8 for the year 2020 stated that 2 centimeter cubic of the food sample solution Q changed to purple coloration when 1 centimeter cubic of sodium hydroxide followed by 2 to 3 drops of copper 2 sulfate solution were added to it. Now, after this short scenario, the 2 centimeter cubic of the food sample, you are given a food sample in your laboratory. Now, this 2 centimeter of the food sample was labeled solution Q. It changed to purple coloration. Assume this 2 centimeter cubic of the solution Q was colorless. On the addition of 1 centimeter cubic of the sodium hydroxide followed by the copper 2 sulfate solution, the solution Q changed its color from colorless to the purple coloration. Now, the questions are as follows. A. Identify the food substance present in the solution Q. Identify the food substance present in the solution Q. Roman B. State 2 function of the food substance present in the solution Q. State 2 function of the food substance present in the solution Q. Roman C. Give 5 natural sources of food substance contained in the solution Q. Give 5 natural sources of food substance contained in the solution Q. My lovely Form 2 students, this is biology. You learn all about the facts. Since you are studying the biology, you are needed to be equipped with both theory and the practical knowledge. So, this question has been derived from our topic of the nutrition, in that concept of the nutrient. That topic of the nutrients, where we see that we have the variety of the nutrients. This is a substance that is obtained from the food we consume. We have the macronutrient and we have the micronutrient. Once we talk on the macronutrients, these are the food which are required in the largest quantity into our body. And micronutrients, these are the nutrients which are required, are essential to be included in our diet, but in the smallest quantity. So, example of the macronutrient, there is protein, carbohydrates, and lipids. And micronutrients and other the refuges, water, and minerals. So, also we have discussed the concept of the food test in the topic of the nutrition, where in our biological practicals we perform the testing of the variety of the food substance. We perform the testing of the starch, we perform the testing of the protein, we perform the testing of the lipids, also we perform the test of the glucose, or reducing and reducing sugar. So, our question today has been derived from the testing or chemical testing of the protein. Since you are studying in this session, you are needed to have both theoretical and practical concept, so that you can answer the question. So here, this teacher, this examiner, already have performed the practicals and have get the result from the contained food sample, from the food substance that are contained in the sample Q. And after the investigation, after the experiment, the examiner get that the food sample Q turned into the purple color. So you examining, oh my lovely Form 2 students, you need to state the type of the food substance that's present in that particular sample Q that turned into the purple coloration on the addition of the sodium hydroxide and the copper 2 sulfate solution. So as we learn in our topic of the nutrition, please, if you have not already read the session, you are mostly welcome to subscribe it in the Educare Media. The topic of the nutrition for Form 2, you are warmly welcome, so that you can get the full package contained in this session of the nutrition. Also, you can also search on different readings in the online libraries on the food testing of the starch, protein, lipid, as well as the reducing sugar and non-reducing sugar, so that you can improve your understanding. Also, you can perform it either in your laboratory. You can talk to your biology teacher, so that you can have experiment so as to prove for this testing. So according to the scenario that has been given, the food substance that present in the solution Q is the protein. The taste of the protein, once you add the drops of the sodium hydroxide and copper sulfate, and the solution turn into the purple coloration that indicate the presence of the protein. While if the food sample Q retained the blue color of the copper sulfate solution on addition, meaning that the protein was not there. So since the solution Q changed its color from the blue color of the copper sulfate solution to the purple color, indicate that the protein was there, or the food sample was the protein. So the food substance present in the solution Q was the protein. And the question Roman 2, you are needed to state function of the food substance present in the solution Q. So the food substance present in solution Q was the protein. Now you are needed to state the function of the protein. And the last one, you are needed to give the five natural sources of the protein. So let us answer the question. Identify food substance present in solution Q. The type of food substance in solution Q was protein. Just simple like that. The Roman B, state the function of the food substance present in solution Q. Now you are needed to state the function of the protein. What is the role of protein in your body? Now that protein tend to provide you the energy. Protein is essential in repairing of the damaged body tissue, like healing of the wounds during the injury. Kwa mfano kama kupona kidonda ni kwa sababu ya protein. So the first function of the protein is promoting growth and help to repair damaged tissue. Kwa inasaidia katika ukuaji, meaning that in case kama kutakuwepo na lack of protein, ndo itapelekea example ugonjwa kama kwashiorkor, poor development of the bones, vile poor stunted growth kwa baby, vile building body cell and making protoplasm, vile katika building of the body cell pamoja na making of the protoplasm. These are the function of the protein. The last one, you are needed to mention 5 natural sources of the protein. The first one, kuna beef, chicken, termite, egg, beans, milk. Kuna variety, kuna nyama, kuna maziwa, kuna samaki, kuna maharage, kuna mayai, ini. Zote ni sources of protein. So you are just needed to mention them. The other question is question number 10 for the year 2020. The question is to describe 2 merit and 2 demerit of each of the artificial and natural system of classification. Describe the 2 merit and demerit of each of the following of an artificial and natural system of classification. So in this question, we wanted to state the 2 demerit and demerit of artificial classification system, and merit and 2 demerit of the natural classification system. My lovely Fanto student, this question has been derived from our topic of the classification of the living things for Form 1, is where we discuss on the type of the classification. When talk on the classification, this refers to the process of sorting or grouping living organism according to their similarity and difference, meaning that the organism are grouped depending on the similarity by considering their evolutionary relationship. Here we see the common ancestry. Also by considering how they perform a variety of the chemical processes like digestion, reproduction, respiration, the excretion, and so forth. So we have to, by starting with the concept of the term classification now, classification the process of grouping organisms according to their similarities and difference. Organisms that are similar are placed in the same group, and this similarity can be in terms of the evolutionary relationship or the way they carry out the process like feeding and reproduction. So we have 2 types of the classification system, where this artificial and natural classification system. So this is where our question has been constructed. So what is artificial classification system? Once we talk on the artificial classification system, is involve classifying organisms according to few observable features which can see, or by considering morphology, so external appearance of an organism. This is artificial. So for example, the presence of the wing and legs. So example, katika artificial we can group organism depending on those with the legs and those which are legless, or these are with winged organisms and those which are wingless. So winged organisms tend to be grouped in one group, and the wingless tend to be grouped in another group. Also, therefore, example, once we consider the presence of the wings, bees, bees, and birds will be placed in the same group because they possess the wings. While the artificial classification system involve classifying organisms according to their size, shape, how they move, how they live, or what they eat. Now, the advantages or the merit of artificial classification system. Since this system of classification based on the few observable morphology of an organism or external features which can be seen by the use of these naked eyes, so meaning that's one of the very simplest method anyone can perform it. So that's one of the very first advantage of the artificial classification system. So the first merit of the artificial classification system is that it is based on simple and easily observable features. Example, here you consider the presence of the wing and legs. So this organism which possess the wings, so we tend to group them into the same group, and those which does not possess the wing, also they can be grouped into their group. So it's very simple. Also, it is stable since it does not change over time or does not allow the discovery of new organism. This system of classification is very stable. How? This is because it do based on these few observable features. Example, bees tend to have the wings. Birds tend to have the wings. Birds also tend to have the wings. This cannot be changed. That is reality. These all organisms tend to have the wings. So there is no time we can come with the evidence that the bees does not possess the wing. That is not true. Also, the presence of the leg. We know that the atom does not possess the leg. The snake does not possess the leg. So there is no another evidence which can come up in our daily life that the snake possesses the leg. Why we does not even see those leg? Because this is based on those features that we can see by the use of these naked eyes. So it is very stable. There is not that another discovery which can come up to interfere with the reality that is already existing. Also, it is simple to identify and classify organism since newly discovered organism with just a few features can be easily fitted in. Another advantage is that it's less expensive because it uses few observable features for grouping. Less expensive because just use the few observable features can be observed easier. Also, it does not require highly skilled personnel. It does not consume time, does not require money for collection of data. Also does not require skilled personnel to perform the classification system. Anyone can perform it. There is no need of a person who have been equipped with the knowledge of either zoology or botany so as to group this organism. And the merit now is of artificial classification system is that unrelated organisms in their internal makeup are grouped together because of few external resemblance features. So unrelated organisms tend to group unrelated organisms to the same group. Take an example: the bees, bat, and birds. The birds, these are the animal. These are the animals just found within the phylum Chordate in that class of the aves. While the bees, this is a phylum Arthropod organism that's found in the class Insecta. While the bats, this is mammals. So you see, they are quite different, but because of this, the presence of the wing, they are being grouped in the same group. While internally, they are not the same. They do not have the same evolutionary relationship. Also, the similar organism may be placed in different groups because of the use of few observable features. So the similar organism, they can be placed in different organisms because of the difference in some of the few features. Take an example, snake and lizard. The snake and lizard, these are all reptile, but the snake is legless, lizard has the leg. So meaning that the snake and the lizard can be grouped in different groups because the snake is legless and the lizard possesses the leg by considering the observable features. Also, it provides only limited information about each member. For example, organisms like bacteria and viruses are grouped together because they're microscopic. So also, you see that this process, they tend to use either the size and shape. So by considering microscopic, bacteria and viruses are microscopic, but these organisms, they tend to belong to different groups. Also, it is less accurate because it uses only few observable features. It cannot be subjected to biological finding and research. The second one is natural classification system. This is a process of the classification that uses both internal and external features to group organisms. So, organisms are grouped based on many features in common, particularly those related to evolutionary relationship. In this system, characters that allow homology of origin must be distinguished from those exhibit the analogy or similarity of the use. For example, the arm of man, four limbs of whale, and wings of bird are homologous structure, and the inconstruct wings of birds, insects have same function, though analogous but different in origin. So now let us shift to the question is you to give the two merits of natural classification system. The natural classification system now is all organisms which are not genetically and evolutionarily related to be grouped together. So it's all organisms which are genetically and evolutionarily related to be grouped together. Also, it is more accurate since it can be subject to biological finding and research, and it can be tested. Also, it allows addition of new features when they are discovered. In other terms, this is one of the disadvantages. It's not stable. It can change from time to time. Also, it enables placing of newly discovered organisms into a group they belong. The demerit of the natural classification system is that it is very expensive because it consumes time for studying the internal structure of this organism, showing their evolutionary relationship, knowing their analogy and their ontogeny and their common ancestor. You have to diagnose them. Also, this process involves the use of the highly scientific skill. Here you see those biological procedures are used in studying the genetic makeup of these living organisms so as to group them. It is tedious and time consuming. This method is very tedious in inachukua muda for the collection of the data. So it is tedious and time consuming since it uses many features in grouping organisms. The another disadvantage of the method it is not stable because it can change anytime due to addition of newly discovered features or information. My lovely Form 2 students, that marks the end of an enjoyable session. Please keep on following Educare Media for further learning and other coming sessions here at Educare Media TZ. Keep on subscribing, comment, and liking. Thank you for watching. Welcome for other coming session here at Educare. Have a nice moment.